Wednesday, September 19th. Welcome back to the Keep PounDENN podcast. We are part of the Riot Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. And we'll be talking Panthers Bengals and the rest of the NFL's Week 2 tonight, here for the next half hour or so. So thanks for joining in. My name's Den, alongside Bobby. Welcome to those of you joining in on Facebook and also over on the riotreport.com this week. We'll be live from now on the riotreport.com/live, as will our other Riot Network family podcasts. It Is What It Is, One Day Contract, and the Roaring Riot podcast. Finally, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm at Keep PounDENN. And Bobby and Chris are at Tacos and Slurpees and Peppajack NBB. We're without Chris tonight, but hey, last Sunday didn't go too well, but one of the best things that you can have in the NFL is a short-term memory. And the Panthers have an opportunity to put themselves back in a pretty decent position back in the division, Bobby, with a win week 3 going into the bye week, week 4. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm excellent, man, despite Sunday. How about you?
I'm good. Yeah,
Good.
I think I like I said, me and Cam Newton, we're over Sunday. I don't know if you saw Cam's press conference today.
Oh, yeah.
But we're done with that. We're moving on to the Bengals here. And yeah, I think I'm still recovering from that weekend, by the way. I don't know if you saw the awesome footage and tweets and photos that we had. We had a great time out there out in Atlanta. As fun as you can have in Atlanta, I should say.
Yeah, y'all guys have fun without me, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you soon, though.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, as always, we kick it off with our question of the night that we'll keep polling throughout the show. And sometimes it's football related, sometimes it's not. And when I think of the Bengals, I mean, at least the orange, I think of only one thing, Bobby. And that's how terrible candy corn is. And I know that we're split right down the middle on this. So I need to know. I need to know tonight, am I the only one that thinks candy corn is trash? I can't be, right?
No, you're not. There's a lot of haters in the world, Dan. You're not the only hater in the world. I have run into a bashing and a hateration in this dancery from a lot of people on Twitter who have like crowded not only my notifications but my inbox, trying to convince me that candy corn is. One lady actually told me, and I didn't even know this person. Like they just hopped into my notification. Like she literally said, I use candy corn for wax to burn candles.
Well,
like,
dude, I told you, I didn't even know you could eat it until I was like seriously 12 or 13. Like, because
you're joking, right?
When I grew up, my mom would, when it comes around Halloween time, fill up the bowl, and every November 5th or whatever, every single candy corn that was put in that bowl was put back into the trash. Sometimes I wanted to, throw the bowl away just for touching the candy corn. The bowl's done.
Nah, man. Yeah, I mean, one of the hardest things in life.
I think I've had it once in my life by accident. It's kind of like an olive. I'm done with
olives.
olives.
That's okay, man. I mean, one of the hardest things in life is to be in denial, man. But it's candy corn is a delicacy to me. It's not one of those things that you can eat all the time. I like it because my mom used to eat it. She still does. And I used to say, oh, what is that? I want to taste it. And I would eat it. I say, oh, it's sugary. I like it. So as an adult, I eat it and my children now eat it. And I realized that my children will now suffer from bullying of non-candy corn eaters in the future. So may my children's feelings rest in peace.
Well, hey, throughout the show tonight, we want to know what you think. So if you think candy corn is trash like I do, hit that like button right down below. If you think it's not and you're a weirdo like Bobby and you like to eat it around this time of the year, go ahead and hit that angry button. We won't be mad. Man. So hopefully we get mostly likes tonight. But
I need some angry faces. Faces.
We'll see what we get for the rest of the night. But hey, let's talk about these Panthers for a little bit. Of course, not the way we wanted it to go on Sunday.
No,
but enough bright spots in the team itself, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm really loving Chris Clark, by the way.
Loving, yes. Surprising.
He came out today. He came out today saying a pretty cool quote about the offensive line, calling it a fist. You can't make a fist if I actually tried it because I'm like weird and literal like that. You can't make a fist unless every finger works together. So so yeah, the offensive line is kind of like a fist. Basically, one guy is the weak link, the whole fist fails, and we've seen that many times. Not so much on Sunday, at least in Atlanta, but really nice to see him kind of connecting with Greg Van Roten, rather. One of the things I totally forgot about just because the line itself did well, is that Trey Turner didn't even play in that game.
Right.
And hopefully will play against the Bengals. But, when you start thinking about that pregame, when it came down to game time, it actually didn't amount to being a huge loss as it did on paper, right?
Right. I mean, one of the reasons that happened is because normally we're used to the left side being attacked. And you got to remember, Trey Turner is probably one of the best offensive linemen that we've ever had and arguably one of the best in the NFL right now. But you got to keep in mind, the reason why we are normally worried about the offensive line and stressed about the offensive line is because of one guy, maybe two, if Amini's playing. But most of the time it's one guy, and that one guy isn't there right now. And somehow, some way, we look like a normal offensive line. So
we'll see. Hopefully it can get better from here. And again, usually I get worried about the bye week being so early in the year, but this might actually play out to their advantage, being week 4 with people like Greg Olsen, Damiere Byrd, Curtis Samuel even. Doesn't look like he's going to play. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But let's I like your shirt, by the way, Bobby.
Appreciate it, man.
Unfortunately, Toad is trending this week in the news.
I know it
for all the wrong reasons, but it's a nice shirt.
I know it kind of inspired me to wear a shirt tonight. But yeah, I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. I just saw it and I was like, oh, one of my character shirts. I'll put it on.
Well, hey, we're gonna hit this Cincinnati preview. We're also gonna jump around the league. We'll do some of our NFL picks, and we'll move into week 3 here. But one more time before we get into the Cincinnati preview, we want to know tonight our poll of the night. Last while I'm at it. Maybe I shouldn't do these polls because last week we asked who would have a bigger game, Calvin Ridley or DJ Moore. And actually, on the stat sheet, they actually had a very similar amount of yards. But of course, I think Ridley's catches in that touchdown was a lot kind of more impactful than what you got.
Yeah, he had like 5 or 6
Moore.
catches or something like that, right?
Yeah, he 4 catches. 4 catches for 60-something yards in a touchdown. But that touchdown was pretty big.
It was. Was that the touchdown right before halftime?
I think it was. I forget.
Okay.
Wow, we just got a lot of candy corn is not trash. Bobby, I don't know how many computers you have over there because I think you're the only one doing this. But again,
hey man, listen, the people have spoken, man. Do not take the vote away from the people.
We'll see. No has jumped out to a insurmountable lead right now. We'll see how it goes.
As it should.
But hey, let's get into this matchup with the Panthers and Bengals at Bank of America Stadium. We'll pull up our little sideboard here. I'll slide over. So we'll keep the poll up there. Is candy corn trash right up in the top there? We want to know, yes or no. And make sure you read it right, because actually I'm the kind of guy that if I lose this poll, I'll say it's because I worded it wrong and we'll have to do it again. Oh. So you know how it is.
It's okay, Dan. It's okay to be wrong, man.
I've never been wrong in my life. But hey, let's go through this. We usually throw up the same 4 topics. But one thing we don't have this week is some bulletin board material. Bobby, I looked all around the social media. I looked all around the internet, and I don't like it. The Bengals are saying good things about the Panthers, as is their media.
That's okay.
Usually we find, I know, but usually it's okay, but it's not good for our bulletin board material segment.
I got you.
We're not going to get a big sponsor on that if we don't. If we don't put it out every week. But people like Drake Kirkpatrick and a few of the other guys calling him the 3-headed monster, just really respecting Cam this weekend. So we're going to throw it up there. I mean, obviously one of the bigger ones is the injuries in this game. Just to go through some of the big ones, of course, Darrell Williams still on the IR. Greg Olsen working out on the sidelines without a boot. Bobby,
it's pissing
promising.
Me off.
Pissing you off? It's only been, a week? 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's pissing me off, man. Like, he needs to relax. Like, don't rush the guy.
Oh, that he's rushing.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I just feel like even when he got hurt last time, I felt like he was out, 9 weeks last year, but I still feel like when he can't, to me, that was an injury that should have set him out for the season. And granted, he had a great playoff game, but I still feel like the injury he has, the more he rushes back, the more it's just going to keep nagging, man. It is not worth rushing.
Yeah, well, they did put him on IR, so he did have a timetable as when he even could return, so... Well, and I know he could have came back earlier, but he's already out of the boot, so we'll see how that goes.
Right.
Of course, Trey Turner was out there today, talking to Josh Klein from the Riot Report, said that he wasn't even expected to be out there today. Right. So that's cool as far as how far he's come along. Obviously, you want to see him get a clear a concussion before he's out there playing, so I think that's pretty good. Denoris Cersei, of course, leaving the game with his second concussion already this year. That's not a good sign. We'll talk about the impact of people like Rashawn Golden in a little bit. Dante Jackson did go out, had a groin from the Atlanta game, but I think that he'll be all right, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about him getting a look at AJ Green. But when you look at the Cincinnati side of the ball too, they're not exactly all out there either. You got Michael Johnson's been out for a little bit, sprained MCL. He'll be out a few more weeks. Yeah. Joe Mixon just went out in for surgery, so he will not play this game. The Bengals did go out today and pick up Thomas Rawls, which was kind of a name that was thrown out there in free agency. I thought that was interesting, especially with his kind of success that he's had in the past with Seattle against the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if I love that. Cody Core is questionable with the back. Preston Brown, a linebacker, is questionable with an ankle. And of course, this is the last week that Vontaze Burfict is suspended. So we kind of lucked out there as well. You're not going to be hurting and twisting our ankles when we go into the end zone. I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Last time we played them, we saw what he's about. Mm-hmm. So
every time we played them, and actually speaking of when we've played them, it's I believe they've only played 4 times in history, and the last game was a tie. So not a lot of recent film or really knowledge of these two teams. These are kind of the games that scare you, right?
Yeah, actually, we're like 2-2-1. I think we played 5 times, so we're like 2-2-1. Yeah, I only know because I was like, I had no life earlier today. My kids were at school, and I was supposed to be working, but
really
I was like,
stats, right?
Yeah, so we're like 2-2-1 against them. Like you said, the last time we played, we were 37. What was the score? 37-37. Which, by the way, we should have won. That Kelvin Benjamin not dropped a touchdown, but that's neither here nor there.
Mike Nugent was a Panther in the last kick, so that was cool.
Exactly.
That was nice of him.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but the injuries, it really sucks because it's like I don't know who's on a cursed crash course at this point more than the Panthers or the Falcons. Like it's like between these two teams, it's like 2 or 3 more injuries every single week. And, they just lost Levitre, who's gone for the season. So it's like they keep, we're losing somebody, they're losing somebody. And it's just like going into this game, I was expecting Curtis Samuel back this week. We all knew Greg Olsen wasn't going to be back. But I was hoping Curtis Samuel would be back, maybe Bird. Those guys could be on the field together. But, the reality is we're going to go into this game. I'm not really focused on our offense because we already know what we look like, even if we're running half of an offense, even if it's just Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey, we know what that looks like. But I'm more focused on the defense in this game. I'm really looking forward to seeing Luke Kuechly bounce back. I'm looking forward to not having to play many more games without Thomas Davis. I'm looking forward to seeing how Dante Jackson bounces back. He got his first career interception last week, off of a duck from Matt Ryan. So it'd be really interesting to see how the guys play. Kudos to Bradbury for how good he played last week against Julio Jones. I think he held him to like 6 catches, 58 yards or something like that. So really, really interested to see how the secondary plays this week, seeing Luke Kuechly bounce back. And I would like to see Eric Washington actually play K'Wan Short and play Dontari Poe. That'd be great. Mm-hmm. Versus seeing, Cal Love and Vernon Butler Jr. out there. I'd much rather see the guys who get paid to play.
We know how you feel about Vernon Butler.
Yeah, I have no feelings towards him. Like, he could literally get cut today, and I would pretend like he was never a Panther, ever.
Oh, poor Vernon.
I like D'Angelo Williams more than I like Vernon Butler.
Wow, okay. That's saying a lot. We'll move on from that one then, jeez. So, hey, you just kind of touched upon it, though. I guess we're not moving on from it. Let's talk about some of the X factors of this game. Yeah. The biggest one that comes out right now is that safety position. Will we see a lot of Rashawn Golden? Ron Rivera really liked how he could use him as a blitzer. With Cersei banged up, I don't think you'd see Cersei go in this game with 2 concussions in 2 weeks. Colin Jones did come in, and also Golden played a little bit, but they were both out there for kind of that second half, really kind of period where Atlanta just scorched them up. I mean, there was no resistance from that Panthers defense on some of those plays in the third quarter, and the problem is Rashawn Golden was out there for a lot of them. Was it his fault? I don't think so. But when you get 2 rookies on one side of the field with him and Jackson, it can get a little scary when you got some people like AJ Green out there, right?
I mean, it can get scary, but at the end of the day, these guys are in the NFL for a reason, right? They were good enough to get picked. They were good enough to start. I'm not really. That game was, Golden's first time having that much playing time for the Panthers. That is, we know what he was capable of in college. We know how fast he was, how much he flew around. He played the cornerback. He played the safety. The guy can run. He can fly. My question is, can he cover? That's my question. But I'm very interested to see, how we play AJ Green. It's not really about how well Rashawn Golden plays. It's about how we play him. Are we going to play him over the top to help out with Dante Jackson, or are we going to play him blitzing as the safety, as you mentioned earlier? It's just all about how we play him and where we line him up at. I'm really interested to see how Eric Washington lines Rashawn Golden up.
Well, judging by the true measure of how good a player is, if you play with Golden and Madden, he's a really good run blocker, or stopper, really good run stopper. For whatever reason, when I put Golden on the field, he makes every tackle. He's like my Luke Kuechly, so...
so let's just hope it translates.
As I always say, it's in the game, right?
Yeah, if it's in the game, it's in the game.
Hey, Chris is in here tonight. Hope he gets better. But shout out to
Chris. Get better, man.
But one of the things he's been saying since training camp was that anything that we get this year out of Curtis Samuel is a bonus, and it's really kind of starting to look that way. And don't get me wrong, I'm not calling the guy glass. He had obviously a heart surgery. I've had heart surgery. Right. I'm not. If anyone's going to call him out, it's not me.
Right.
But I'm talking about depth chart wise, when you got a guy that was really kind of a playmaker, at least in preseason, and a guy that you've circled in Norv Turner's offense not touch the field, at what point do you need extra depth there, I guess is my question. Because with him and Bird out, just jumping around the league, people like Corey Coleman are out there. Do you kick the tires with Corey Coleman? You're not getting anything from Curtis Samuel right now. Who knows when he'll be back? Maybe they're waiting it out on the bye. Does it kind of worry you the way that it's starting to worry me that right now we have our receivers and two of them aren't playing and they're not cutting it? Really? Or do you disagree?
I don't see what the big deal is. Everybody's asking to sign somebody. We have a guy by the name of DJ Moore who plays football. We have a guy by the name of Jarius Wright who's pretty good at football. We have a guy by the name of Torrey Smith who we traded for and picked up $5 million for. We have a guy by the name of Devin Funchess who just caught 7 passes for 77 yards in the previous game. He did drop 2 passes, which the whole world acted like it was the end of the world. But
big ones, yeah.
We have guys.
Yep.
Yeah, we have guys. We also have a stud by the name of Ian Thomas, who Greg Olsen, I don't know if people saw the pictures, but he was directing him today. He was showing him, hey, you need to be here, you need to be there. We also have a guy by the name of Christian McCaffrey who caught 14 passes last week for 102 yards. Here's my thing. If you really want to experiment and you want to see how deadly this team really can be, let CJ Anderson start Christian McCaffrey at the slot. Play DJ Moore more, so hashtag more of more, and get Jarius Wright some more touches. To be honest, Jarius Wright has looked arguably like our best wide receiver. Like, honestly. And all in all,
he's been Mr. Reliable out there.
He literally has. And to me, he's kind of been more than what Cotchery was for us. It's just, I understand calling on Curtis Samuel, but to me, that's another Greg Olsen situation. Make sure he's 100% healthy before you put him out there. It's week 3, right? It's not like it's week 14. We're trying to make the playoffs. Make sure he's healthy, and use DJ Moore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it again. I would test Christian McCaffrey in the slot, and I would give him that opportunity to play from the slot. Ian Thomas is a stud. He can run. He can get open. He can run his routes pretty decent from what I've seen. Utilize him. There's no reason we need to go back to, we don't have any receivers when we just stacked up and said we had arguably our best receiving core since 03, right? So, I think is
my point is, okay, is that you're carrying 6 receivers right now, but 2 of them aren't playing. And 2 of them, I don't know. You'd like to see them on the field. I'm just saying, at what point do you worry about the depth? We'll see. We'll see how far Curtis Samuel goes with this. I honestly think they're just going to try to keep him out past the bye.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you mean by like depth? Because you have Funchess, you have Torrey Smith, you have Jarius Wright, you have DJ Moore. That's 4 guys, and you have Curtis Samuel and Damiere Byrd, who will be back, whenever. Yeah, I'm guessing soon.
Curtis Samuel hasn't played a football game since
the
Dolphins game of last year. a regular season game.
Right. Okay, I get it. But he showed us what he had in the preseason.
Oh,
the guy
trust
looked
me.
arguably like
I love
he
Curtis
looked like the
Samuel.
best guy on the field in the preseason.
And I honestly think if you put him on the field Sunday, they might win that game. And
what do you mean,
again,
Mike? We're gonna win anyway.
I'm not trying to rush. No, I meant on the Atlanta game.
Okay.
I'm not rushing the guy back, but there becomes a point where you start to worry. I don't know.
And what does Corey Coleman show you that makes you feel as if he's going to be?
Well, Corey Coleman's just a name. I don't know. Sometimes when, obviously Corey Coleman doesn't have a great track record right now. Browns, Bills, he was on the Pats for like 45 minutes. And, but, I always say you take some of those guys, you throw them out in the Panthers offense, they run a different offense, especially with Norv. Who knows? Who knows? I haven't given up on Corey Coleman. I just think that there's a guy right there that you can get for nothing. And if you're going to carry 6 receivers but only really have 4 of them, that's where I start to worry. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Eagles who just picked up Jordan Matthews again today. I think Jeremy Maclin is still up. Yeah, congratulations to Maclin.
Did you see his quote on that? That was pretty funny.
No, I didn't.
Well, he said,
I did.
He said when you're in Buffalo, there's nothing else to do but make a baby. So
yeah,
touche.
Yeah, I did.
Once you've gone through 45 tables, I mean, what else do you do in Buffalo? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And I was looking. Maclin is still out there. Coleman's out there, but I don't know, man. I think you give it a couple more weeks, and I think you can. Honestly, give it to the bye week.
Yeah.
When the bye week comes, and you say, "Hey, man, listen, Curtis Samuel just really doesn't look like it's going to be. It's going to be 4 or 5 more weeks." Then then I can say we start talking that. But right now, man, I think it's far too early for that. I think we have options, man. If we didn't have DJ Moore, then maybe I'd say go out for it, but play that guy. We'll see a difference.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully we can see Curtis out there pretty soon. But hey, we kind of got away from our X factors here. Of course, on their side of the ball, AJ Green is going to be kind of the focus. And I think he'll be spread around the secondary. Ron talked about it today. Between Dante, Captain, Bradbury, depending on where they line him up. One of the things that Jordan actually touched upon was everyone in the secondary wants a piece of him, and that's kind of a reassuring thing when you get so many young guys, that aren't afraid to cover an AJ Green. So he'll be a big thing. Tyler Eifert is kind of a scary one. You saw what Hooper did last week. Tight ends, I don't know if they're a problem for this team or not. Well, I guess we'll find out. Then again, up front, nothing to shake a stick at again for the second week in a row. Geno Atkins, Carlos Dunlap out there. Granted, it was the Colts and the Ravens, not really the most powerhouse running teams. They did hold those two teams to 141 yards total, and they are, which is the 3rd least in the NFL. They're also ranking 2nd in pass deflections and tied for 8th with the most sacks, which is 6. So definitely not a defense to take lightly, and we'll see how that goes. But let's go from there. Let's jump over to the game plan. One thing that I was going through some of the footage of the Colts and the Ravens game against the Bengals, and one thing that I found against the Bengals is in both games. Well, first, the Colts found a lot of success in Week 1 with their tight ends. Granted, they have 2 pretty good ones, Eric Ebron and Jack Doyle. Doyle had 7 catches for 60 yards. Ebron had 4 catches for 51 yards and a big touchdown. Then you have the Ravens, who don't exactly have the best tight ends, but Max Williams and Nick Boyle had a total of 5 catches for 60 yards as well. Mm-hmm. We saw a should-be touchdown from Ian Thomas down the seam. I think tight end success can be found in this game, but I know you like Ian Thomas. Do the Panthers really have the personnel to kind of attack them the way the Colts did, or what do you think? You got Chris Manhertz running out there with Ian? I don't know.
No, I don't think we have the tight end personnel right now. As much as I love Ian Thomas, and a lot of Panther fans are Ian Thomas fans, but I just don't think he's that guy to say we're going to go at you. Should he get about 3 or 4 looks? Yeah, I think he should get at least 3 or 4 looks, 3 or 4 targets. But is he that Eric Ebron, and of course Ebron isn't a Gronkowski, but he's still a stud in his own right. So I don't think he's that yet. He can be in that and more, but not right now. I don't think we have the tight end personnel. Chris Manhertz. No, not at all. So I think we're going to rely on a lot of out of the backfield plays from Christian McCaffrey and hopefully some plays from the guys in the receiving corps.
Yeah, and I'm not so worried about them holding the Colts and the Ravens to 141 total yards on the ground, which is, again, the third best rushing defense.
Yeah.
I do think the Panthers will find a little more success. I don't know what. Couldn't really run the ball against Atlanta. I don't really have a great reason as to why. Seems like they were trying to go around the ends a lot. Wasn't really working out, but we'll see. So we'll see what the game plan is. Again, I think
C.J. Anderson runs just fine.
He did on that first play, and then they just didn't want to give him the ball again. Whatever. But they did want to give him the ball. It ended up an interception, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll let that one go for now, I guess. Yeah, that's my game plan. I think the Colts and the Ravens found some pretty good success in the tight ends. I think can Ian step up? We saw DJ Moore get his confidence last week. Is this the week that you see Ian Thomas kind of get his and bounce back from that drop? So
yeah.
So those are my fun ones. Those are my three. Usually we do the bulletin board, but let's go around the league a little bit. I don't know if you saw today on the Players Tribune, Cam Jordan, big not a big fan of or not a big go-to guy for Panthers fans, but Cam Jordan from the Saints did make a 7 best players of the NFC South. 3 Panthers players make that: Julius Peppers, Luke Kuechly, and of course Cam Newton. And I honestly agreed with his list for the most part. His top 4 included, his number 1 was Drew Brees. I'm not going to argue that. Fine.
I mean, it's his quarterback.
True, but also if you want to say who's the best player in the NFC South, period, I'm not going to argue with Drew Brees. I mean, obviously everyone's going to, maybe people will have a different one.
He's the best quarterback.
And I think that's part of why too. But you have Julio Jones up there, of course. Again, Luke, Pep, Cam Newton, Michael Thomas is in there. So, it's a pretty cool list. But hey, 3 Panthers make the top 7 from Cam Jordan. I'll take that, right?
Yeah.
Not too bad. Got to talk about Josh Gordon here, man. How do you feel about Josh Gordon going to the Pats? I have to touch upon it being here in Boston.
Yeah. I mean, I feel good for Josh Gordon. I'm glad that he's getting the opportunity. I'm glad he got away from Cleveland, man. Because there's really no motivation to do great there. I mean, I understand as a wide receiver or any NFL player, you should be motivated regardless. You get paid to play the game. You should play the game. You should be there. But I really think this is good for his career. A lot of players in their career, they need to change the scenery, and they also need a coach who's going to demand the best out of them. And that's what Bill Belichick is going to do. I think this is going to be excellent for his career. Here's the downside, though. If he doesn't make it in New England, nobody else is taking a shot on him.
Yeah.
So that's the only downside to this. I wish him the best. I just don't wish him success and wins, but I wish him the best for his career. But I think this is a good thing for Josh Gordon. This is a good thing for Tom Brady. And it's a great thing for Patriots fans.
Yeah, well, finally they get something good, after all these years. Patriots fans, it's been so tough. But, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We've seen teams, players go through the Patriots system. Of course, Eric Decker being one of the most recent. Reggie Wayne, people that just couldn't pick up the playbook, Ocho Cinco. So we'll see how that goes. Right. Is Josh going to be a guy that's going to work? People use the whole no motivation, and I think Joe Thomas from the Browns kind of gives them all a tough thing to live up to. Because Joe Thomas, lost for 30 years or whatever it was, and put out his hardest every time. So I think that might not go for everybody that is a Brown, Yeah, so they have that to live up to. We'll move right through these here. Hey, Bobby, what was your favorite memory of the Panthers might trade for Antonio Brown era?
Oh man, my favorite memory. That was a quick era, wasn't it?
That was fun. I had a lot of fun.
I did too, man. I had posted up some the pictures of him being in the Panthers helmet. I posted the picture of him working out with Cam. It was fun while it lasted. It's only right though, man. Let's be real, man. He has so many connections. It seems like every offseason now, something in regards to the Panthers surrounds Antonio Brown. I find it hilarious how it's always our team and nobody else's. But whatever happens with him, I have no clue, man. It sucks to have an issue with him and Le'Veon Bell. I don't know. What was your favorite moment of the short era for the Antonio Brown Panthers?
What's funny is they're still kind of it's really weird because they said that he missed Monday's practice because, or was it Tuesdays, because of a planned reason. But now he's being disciplined for it. So I don't know. I think there is some trouble brewing in Pittsburgh, and I think it stems at the Le'Veon Bell situation, but we'll see.
Yeah,
just keep that going until we play him. I'm fine with that. So
for sure. Hey Susan, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up, Susan? Thanks for hopping on with us. We'll move through a few of these quickly. I know we got to wrap it up. We went a little long in the game plan there, but Hey, Ian Connor wrote the Tom Brady book today. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
Tom Brady may have wanted a divorce from Bill Belichick. Called it like a marriage, and got worried about him pushing him out of New England.
Yeah.
There was kind of a cool, I shouldn't say cool, a very interesting part of this book where they talked to Belichick's former football and lacrosse teammate, John McVicker, and he tells a story about how Bill Belichick taught him to kind of skirt around the rules, which is kind of ironic, Bobby, you know? Let me read this to you. They played lacrosse together. He said, one day he restrung my stick, he being Bill, so that the ball would stay in there better. He taught me how to make a lacrosse stick illegal, but then be able to fix it before the ref could catch you. In those days, the depth of your pocket could be no deeper than the ball. He would make the pocket extra deep, bigger than that, and if someone from the other team accused him of having an illegal stick, Bill showed him how to quickly pull a string that would tighten it back up to the legal level so that he could hand it to the ref. John says, he taught me how to use an illegal lacrosse stick, and he said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And I wouldn't at all believe that he didn't apply that to coaching. That's interesting, Bobby. Interesting.
Not surprised, man.
Interesting. So
I mean, we've been saying this since what, 2003?
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting part of that. But yeah, it goes on about kind of the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, and you know, another very interesting thing. Today, a Patriots assistant coach came out and said that he truly believes the Patriots could win with any of the top 15 quarterbacks in the league. And that's kind of what we've always said. And, you know, one thing that Boston's doing right now, which is really weird, is every week they go around and kind of gloat. There's literally an article on Boston.com that checks on previous or past players. I mean, Malcolm Butler, Dion Lewis, Matt Patricia, and they're all having a kind of a tough time, Jimmy Garoppolo. And it makes you wonder, you know, if these guys are good on the Patriots, let's throw Brady on another team. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So it does kind of go hand in hand with everything we've talked. I figured you guys would like that.
I love that.
Two more things before we hop into our NFL picks tonight. Hey, Maroon 5's performing at halftime.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't happy about that.
Yeah, kind of a weird one. I think that's too early for them.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people that actually live in Atlanta. They were pissed. They were like, you know, Atlanta has
they wanted
all of these. They wanted
Usher.
the legendary artists. Yeah, I'd love to see Usher out there. I mean, again, it's not a knock against Maroon 5. Honestly, I love the group. They're great. I actually love some of their songs. But, you know, I always feel like if you're going to do any type of performances in a city, state, whatever, kind of cater to that city or that state.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least a little bit. At least split it. You know, at least give it a split performance. But yeah, you know, Maroon 5 will do great, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I think it's too early for them. I still like to see people like Pearl Jam play, but maybe they said no. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a big Pearl Jam fan, but they are a band I think that could play a halftime.
Yeah. I would love to see who comes up. Like, I would love to see the options for the list, and I would love to just see how they come up with the people who are going to perform.
It must be I'm sure there's a lot of money involved, Bobby. So
there's a whole lot of money
involved. There's that part of it too.
Yeah.
Last final thing, I don't have the video, but after the game, did the Saints and Browns, they played in Cleveland? Yeah.
No, they played in New Orleans.
Are you sure?
Positive, because when they...
Oh, yes,
as a matter
they did.
Of fact,
yes, they did. No, yes, they did, because it was...
Because I was like, are they going to beat them in the dome?
So the Browns fans went out into the street. They formed an 11, or maybe not 11, but they formed a full offensive line and had a placeholder and a kicker. And they kicked what probably would have been the game-winning field goal out in the streets of New Orleans. Check out that video; it's pretty hilarious.
I gotta see that.
So maybe the Browns can look around in their fan base for a new kicker someday.
The Vikings just got a new kicker, Dan Bailey.
Yeah, hey, should have been a Cowboy. Probably would have hit that field goal week 1 too. So
thanks for not being there.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna hit our NFL picks now, our Week 3 picks. Before we do that, I just want to throw up here one more time. We want to know, is candy corn trash?
I think you've been outvoted a long time ago, Dan.
I actually have been. I'm getting destroyed in this. So I think that, I don't know how you hacked this, but you have a lot of devices voting right now. So, hey, as we get into this Bengals game in Halloween, I'm just gonna express my hate for candy corn, and I don't think I've ever even had it. It just freaks me out. It's like,
why does it freak you out? Well, it's kind of like okra. I've never had okra.
They said okra,
but it just no. It's like it scares me. Like when I look at okra, I'm like,
okay,
that looks scary.
Okay.
So I've never tried it, and I want to try it, but I'm afraid. I think if it touches my tongue, I'm gonna like die immediately. Yeah. So I haven't tried it yet.
All right. Apparently, all right. This might be a North Carolina thing because, or Carolinas period. Because
I don't live in North Carolina.
But, well, you do live more south than me. I feel like everyone in Boston hates candy corn, but you guys like it. I just got
everybody in Boston likes Brady, so they're gonna not like weird stuff.
I just got like 45 votes for no. I'm all right. Maybe we lost this one, but hey, let's get to our NFL picks where I also lost. Probably my worst week out there that we've done.
Yeah, mine too.
Usually I'm dominating this pool by now, but hey, shout out to Chris for making some pretty good picks. Again, guys, we do go against the spread. So you can see there, that's why I have that Oakland game. Lucked out on that one. Denver did win that game by 1. But I'll take the spread there everywhere I can get it. You know, I'm not even going to show you the early games because it's pretty much a straight row of X's. But you can see literally. You can see that Chris had. Hey, don't get me wrong though. Some of these games were a little weird this week, right?
Especially the Cleveland game.
Yeah. Well, Chris took that one somehow, and
Chris is a cheater.
He is. There were a few other ones, but hey, let's get into these. Chris has a 5-game lead on me. I have a 3-game lead on you. That would mean Chris has a 8-game rather. 5 and 3 is 8. Yeah. 8-game lead on you, Bobby. There's plenty of time to come back, though. You know what I'm saying?
There's plenty of time to come back. When we start doing normal stuff again, like just picking teams to win, then you'll see me. But yeah, it's the picking against the spread requires me to start doing research.
There you go.
On these teams, because I've noticed that these teams always have the same spread. A lot of teams, when they play against each other, is always a similar spread. And if you go back, like the last 5 times they played, it'll tell you a lot about why the spread is the way it is. So
I mean,
I'm learning.
This stuff is like a scary science. I don't even want to know how this. I mean, like even the Carolina game, was. Well, wait, were they favored in that game? I don't even remember. Anyway, I did.
No, we weren't favored in that.
I did pick. Oh no, yeah, sorry. It was 5.5, and they lost by 7. I did pick Atlanta to win the game, though. I thought they'd win by 4, but
I did too.
So there's a perfect example. If we were just picking games, I would have picked Atlanta. But hey, let's get into this week's. I'm going to throw on the picks music, and we'll hop into this right here. Bobby, I'm going to let you go first this week.
Okay.
Tomorrow night, the Jets are at Cleveland. One of these teams is for real. I'm not really sure. We'll find out. They both with a big win week 1 or almost win, not a loss for Cleveland. But then they kind of came back down to earth week 2, even though it might have been late. Cleveland's favored in this game at home, -3.5. Weird to me. Thought the Jets might get that. But hey, Jets at Cleveland, -3.5.
Give me Cleveland. With the spread.
Yeah, I should probably write these down, huh? You're gonna take Cleveland. I'm gonna take the Jets.
You're gonna lose.
I really thought Sam Darnold showed some special stuff, but then they lost to Miami. So who's real over there too?
But Darnold, to his credit, he did have a decent game.
True. Hey, this is a big one for us. New Orleans at Atlanta. One of these teams will have 2 losses.
Yeah.
Which one do you want at this point, though? With Atlanta beating the Panthers, do you want them to get a now loss? But then that goes to New Orleans. Kind of a tough one. What do you got here? New Orleans at Atlanta, -3.5. Atlanta's -3.5 at home.
Give me the Saints in that game. I have a strong feeling that the Saints are actually gonna do something bad against the Falcons. They're gonna dominate them. So give me the Saints.
Yeah. Atlanta coming off a big win division, and just to go into the second one, and now they're banged up. Julio Jones wasn't at practice today, and actually Deion Jones's backup, I forget his name off the top of my head.
Riley. Riley.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, he got hurt today as well, limping off the field. So I'll take New Orleans. I think like you said with Carolina, it's going to take New Orleans a few weeks to get going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they will be a little scary in a few weeks, unfortunately. But I'll take them there as well. We'll switch these off halfway down, but I'll stick with you first. San Francisco's at Kansas City. Kansas City's -6.5.
Really? That's tough. Give me KC.
Yeah, I like KC at home in this game.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have gone much more. I don't like it being 6.5. I would have liked 6.
Yeah, that's what made me.
Yeah,
that's what made it tough for me.
Yep. I'll take him there as well. Hey, Oakland looking for their first win, and John Gruden said he needs some. John Gruden said pass rushers are hard to find, especially when they're on your own roster, John, which is pretty ironic.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, you know what? Weird trade, but to get 2 first-round picks, who knows? We'll see what happens. I guess that's one of those things you got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
In some regard, I still don't think he's trade Khalil Mack. But hey, Oakland's at Miami. They're +3.5 on the road. Miami at home -3.5.
Miami.
I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. I don't think John Gruden's going 0-3.
I think he will.
I think they can do Miami here at home. So. Oh my God! I didn't even see this spread, dude. The Bills are in tough shape, man. I saw a thing today, and I thought it was real for a second, but it was a pretty funny joke where the Bills are having Vontae Davis Day, where if they're losing at 15, if they're losing by 15 at halftime, you can leave and get your money back. And people were retweeting it like it was a real deal, and unfortunately it wasn't. So if you're going to that game. I think it's October 7th. They made up a weird date. Don't leave at halftime. You won't get your money back. But Buffalo's at Minnesota with a spread of 16.5. Might be the highest I've seen in a while.
I'm not taking it. Give me Buffalo.
Wow. Yeah, that's just
16.5. I mean, come on. That's a little bit too high.
I'm gonna do it. I think Minnesota in their dome, that defense can beat up whoever the starting quarterback is going to be. Is it going to be Allen? Mm-hmm. I think that they can shut that down. They can shut down KB. I think the Bills are in a lot of trouble this year.
Are you picking that because? Go ahead.
I was going to say, if they lose this game big, I think we can start talking about them to have the first pick in the draft.
I think we're going to talk about that regardless, but yeah, I mean they're not good, and it's I don't think they'll lose by that much, but they're not a good team. It's been clear since week 1. They're not a good team, so I don't know, man. I can see why somebody would take the spread, and I can see why somebody wouldn't. So
fair enough. The Colts are at the Eagles. Not really sure what to make of this Eagles team right now. Just got stomped by the Bucs and barely beat Atlanta.
Yeah, but Carson Wentz is back.
He is, but he hasn't played in a while. They're -6.5 at home against Indy, with Andrew Luck, who I think I don't know. I don't think Andrew Luck's doing too bad in his first 2 starts here, as far as him.
Why do you feel like he's not doing bad?
His stats. His team is just bad.
Stats.
Yeah.
Stats.
I'm just saying.
Stats make you not bad now.
His team is not good. They're the Indianapolis Colts. You can only play the team game so much.
Yeah.
They're a fist, Bobby.
I think right. I think he gets a lot of excuses, but I don't know. Give me. What would you say? 6.5?
Yeah.
Give me Eagles, and that's favorite Eagles at home. And give me Eagles.
Yeah.
If they were in Indy, I probably wouldn't take it. I think it'd be like a 3-point game. But in Philly, I don't think he's gonna do much.
I'm the same way. I'm taking the Eagles with the touchdown. Yeah. Hey, Green Bay is at Washington. -2.5. Is there an official status on Aaron Rodgers yet?
Oh, he's playing to my knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah. Last thing I saw, he was cleared to go, but things can change in a matter of hours. Mm-hmm. I see you with the Batman Cup. Is that a shot?
Oh, yeah.
To me? Is that like a subliminal shot?
Yeah.
I'll buy a Bane Cup.
Put it right up front
I'll sit from next week. It's okay. I'll pay you back.
What do you got? Green Bay -2.5 at Washington.
Man, believe it or not, I'm taking Washington in this game. I am going to take Washington. I actually, despite what people are saying, I actually like what Alex Smith is doing right now. He's actually utilizing Chris Thomas almost the same way we utilize Christian McCaffrey. Alex Smith doesn't make mistakes, and if he does, is because he had no other option. So I'm going to take Washington in this game, believe it or not.
If this game was more than 3, I would probably take Washington. But I can see Green Bay winning by a field goal.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to take them there. I'm with you. I don't think it'll be. I think it'll come down to kind of the wire. So, we'll take Green Bay here.
Okay.
We'll skip Cincy at Carolina. We'll do that last. Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville coming off a pretty big win against New England. They're at home against their division foes, the Titans. They did lose who did they lose? Their left tackle, right? So,
because last time I checked, who was the quarterback last week? He went like 11 for 17 or something.
From Tennessee.
Yeah, what's the guy's name? Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
His numbers were horrible. I know he went like 11 for 17, but he only had like 60 or 70 yards.
Hey, he should have been drafted over Kim, though.
That's true. Let them tell it. It was him and somebody else who they said should have gone over.
Jake Locker.
There we go, Jake, the good old Hall of Famer. There you go.
Not the good Jake.
I don't know, man. What's the spread?
It is minus 6.5 for Jacksonville at home.
I'm taking Jacksonville, man.
Yeah. I was high on the Titans, but losing to Miami was a tough one, and even though that game was 37 hours long.
Right.
Hey, Denver is at Baltimore. I'll switch it up. I'll take these first from now on. Denver's at Baltimore. Man, Denver just getting that lucky win over Oakland. They are favored here. I'm sorry, they're getting points here. 5.5 at Baltimore. Baltimore minus 5.5. Coming off that loss against Cincy.
Yeah.
Big trip for Denver to go to Baltimore. I'm going to go with the Broncos in this game. I don't really have a great reason why.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm going to go right behind you. Okay. I really have no clue what's going to happen in this game.
Yeah, it's just I'll take the team with the points.
It's almost like a push at this point. I'll roll right behind you. I'll take Broncos.
Hey, the Giants are at Houston. Houston's kind of a letdown team this year. So far. Mm-hmm. So are the Giants, kind of. Giants, even though they come off a big win against Dallas, but
who actually thought that the Giants were going to do anything this year?
I thought they'd be all right. I mean, you add Saquon Barkley to that.
But they have the same exact offensive line that they've had.
Yeah.
There's nothing really changed with them. So, yeah. I mean, I get why people may have thought they were going to do well. But at this point, they're coming into this game 0-2. They had opportunity to make comebacks a couple times. They're coming to this game 0-2. I don't see any, but go ahead, man. Make your pick.
I'm going to take Houston. I just think they're a better team and a better defense, and they have Deshaun Watson, who hopefully will do something soon. I don't really know. I'll take Houston here. What do you got?
Following right behind you again. I have no reason to believe that the Giants will score more than 10 points in this game, and I believe Houston can put up about 21-24.
The battle for LA. The Chargers at the Rams.
That's going to be a good game.
This is probably going to be a good game. I think the spread is exactly where it should be, and I wish the Rams were favored by a little less, but I do think the Rams can beat the Chargers by a touchdown at home, even though the LA is technically home too. Chargers, I mean.
I am going Chargers in this game.
With the points, Bobby. I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chargers.
Chicago's at Arizona. I have no idea what's going on with Arizona, by the way. Steve, I've picked them for the past 2 weeks. Steve Wilks has, I was looking at it earlier. Why are these defensive coordinators such terrible head coaches? Sean McDermott, Steve Wilks, Matt Patricia. Where does that fall off? And I guess you could say the same maybe with Rex Ryan sometimes too, but
Right.
I mean, he's got the personnel.
Mm-hmm.
You got Pete Peterson, Chandler Jones. I mean, you have the pieces. What is Steve Wilkes doing wrong with this team to get beat so badly? But I have no idea why Chicago is only minus 4.5. I probably would have taken this game if it was 12.5. But
what is Chicago's record in Arizona though?
Oh, I don't know. Don't ask me tough questions like that.
I mean, just the small stuff that plays into the spread.
But basically, Chicago has Khalil Mack. So whatever the spread is, as long as it's under like 14, I'm gonna take it.
Right.
What do you got?
I'm taking Chi-Town, man. I have no reason to believe Sam Bradford will do anything in this game whatsoever.
Hey, Dallas is at Seattle. Seattle couldn't do anything against Chicago. They'll probably be able to do a little more against Dallas without Mack coming in and just literally winning the game by himself. So
yeah.
I like Seattle playing at home, and it's under 3, and Dallas coming off 2 losses here. I have no reason to pick them. I mean, Seattle had a tough game against Chicago. I don't think Dallas defense gives them that struggle. I think they can win this one by 3. What do you got?
I think so too. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, to be honest.
Hey, Patriots, big talk around here. Going to Detroit, visiting Matt Patricia, who's having a tough time. Matt Patricia's in a tough spot. He's playing Bill Belichick. He's playing his old team, and New England just came off a loss. I've read that they're like 46-4 or something all time under Bill Belichick coming off a loss.
Really?
It's something stupid. It might be 6 losses, but that's no more than 6. I told my friends today, I think New England wins this game big, and I think Matt Patricia is in a lot of trouble. He needs to get his veteran guys, to step up for this game. You know, this is my old team. I need you guys to play for me. If he doesn't have the team in this game and they get smoked, Matt Patricia's on a hot seat here, I think, already. But I don't think Bill Belichick does many favors here. I feel like they win this game pretty big. What do you got? Minus 6.5 on the road.
In New England?
No, it's in Detroit.
In Detroit?
In the Dome. Will Josh Gordon play? I don't know.
No, he's not playing this week.
You don't think so?
So, no. It was
I don't think that's official.
The guy's name.
I was just listening to Boston radio. No one knows.
No one will Chef said something about it.
No one will talk about it in Boston.
Yeah, because I know Adam Schefter was tweeting about it, saying that he shouldn't play Sunday, and then they interviewed Bill Belichick. He wouldn't answer any questions. And basically, then pretend it was like at 9 or 10 a.m. He pretended like he didn't even know what they were talking about, and at 12:30, Josh Gordon was on the practice field with the team.
They're squashing the story. Yep.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Regardless if Josh Gordon plays or not, man. I'm taking New England with it doesn't matter if he plays or not. Cut
here. This game's gonna be ugly, I think. Yeah. Hey, Pittsburgh at Tampa Bay. Is Tampa Bay real, and has Pittsburgh lost or has Tomlin lost his team? A lot of storylines in this game.
Yeah.
I want to see Tampa Bay keep winning. Well, no, I don't. I shouldn't say that, but I do want to see more of Fitzpatrick press conferences. So maybe if they can lose and him still do that, like, I'm cool with that. You know, Cam doesn't really alter. Cam doesn't only wear his outfits when he wins. I mean, you be you. Yeah. Be you.
Yeah.
So let me retract that. I do not want to see Tampa Bay win. Pittsburgh at Tampa Bay, though. Dude, I'm sticking with Tampa Bay. Just with the storyline, the confidence that they have, just airing it out, and Pittsburgh being in the situation that they are. Who knows what Antonio Brown's going to be feeling this game? Maybe he's fine. I don't know. A lot of turmoil right now, and Tampa Bay, again, has a lot of confidence. I'll take them with 2.5 points. What do you got?
I'm taking Pittsburgh in this game.
Okay.
I think Mike Tomlin does a very good job of having this team respond at adversity over the adversity over the, I'd say, like last 3 or 4 years. The adversity that they've had, whether it was on defense, every time they say this, this team will never be the steel curtain, they come out and have a great defensive game. And it is, I think, the way that the way that Tomlin responded to the media in reference to the Antonio Brown situation, he does a great job of protecting his players. I think Antonio Brown gets himself in line. I think we see a better Ben Roethlisberger. I really think they will beat Tampa Bay. I'm not going to say Ryan Fitzpatrick has a bad game. I think he'll still have a solid game, but I don't see Tampa Bay beating them. Okay,
you think this is where they bring him down there to earth? That's fine.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I still think they'll have a good game. I just think they'll lose. Mm-hmm. I can see them losing by 7 points, somewhere around there.
Fair enough. All right, let's go to the last one. We always save the Panthers game for the last. Before that, I do want to remind you, we do have our poll going out right now. Is candy corn trash? Just say yes. Just at least make this a little closer.
No.
And restore my faith in humanity that candy corn needs to get off the shelves. And by the way, is candy corn only a fall candy?
You see it more in the fall, but you can get it all year long.
Because isn't that kind of a fraud candy? Like, what other candy is seasonal?
What do you mean? You have pumpkin spice and everything, like pumpkin spice candy, pumpkin spice
That's not
lattes.
A candy, though. I'm talking
They
candy.
do make pumpkin spice candy.
I can get Starburst, 365 days a year. I can get Skittles, Twizzlers, but I can only get candy corn, like, in November or October.
I mean, how often do you see pumpkin pie?
But that's not a candy. Food's one thing, sweet. Bobby.
But here's the thing.
I'm saying candy corn is like the only seasonal candy. It's just a little weird.
You can't get delicacies all year long. You can't get Christmas candy all year long, can you? Like, Christmas candy only comes out late November.
Fine, I can't. A candy cane.
Boom. There you go.
Fine. You just debunked my point. But candy canes are delicious, and candy corn is trash. So anyway, let's move on to the NFL picks.
Wow, man. This is
last pick here. Cincinnati's
the only pick.
Cincinnati's at Carolina, of course. Finally coming back to Bank of America Stadium. Eric Washington saying we're going to see the defense be restored to how we're used to seeing them. So I'm looking forward to that. Not as big of a spread this week. Carolina is home, -2.5, basically getting that home treatment. Calling this one a pretty close one. I think it is a pretty close one. Man, I picked Atlanta to win last week. Mm-hmm. I did pick Carolina to cover the spread. I do think Carolina can win this game. And if they don't, I really start worrying about this season. Is that bad?
No. Yeah, that's bad. It's just start worrying before we have a bye week, I think, especially when it's early. But I picked Carolina to lose by a touchdown last week. They lost by a touchdown, ironically. I'm going to pick them to win by 10 this week. So I'm going to take Carolina with those numbers. I think Carolina will take care of business at home. Those guys know what at stake. It's not rocket science at this point. These guys have been together for a while. A lot of these veterans, they know what's up.
It's the last game that we watched without Thomas Davis, and
is it? He was gone for 4 games. He has another one after this.
Is it? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's week 5 then. I'm thinking 4 weeks. You're right. You're right. He'll come back for the Washington game. My bad.
I wish it wasn't that long. I wish you could count a bye week as a.
I know. Sorry, my bad. I'm getting used to this early bye week thing. So.
Yeah. Last time we had an early bye week, you know what happened after that?
I do.
Win streak, baby.
So yeah, I mean, that is kind of a good sign. Is kind of stringing a more healthy team together after the bye week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did misspeak. Thomas Davis will be back for the Redskins game, not for the Giants game. So we'll
and we'll be live at that Redskins game, by the way, guys.
We will, by the way. We'll have some more information for you on that. But yeah, that's it, man. Those are our NFL picks. We'll throw those up on the graphic, and hopefully I can. We'll get Chris's picks before tomorrow too, and hopefully we can start making some ground on him because it's getting a little ugly out there, Bobby. I just.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm gonna make my comeback this week. This week will even things out. I will pass Den after this week. And then I'll be on my way to catching Chris, and everything will be fine in the world. The world will love candy corn. It'll be good.
That's a hefty week to make up 5 games, but we'll see what you can do.
It is.
I have faith in you.
Things can happen.
The NFL isn't going the way it's supposed to. That's just why my picks aren't right, but they'll even out. No, we'll straighten the ship out. But
we can literally use that excuse, man. Like, the NFL is super weird right now. The only thing that's not weird is the consistent Andy Reid hot start and the fizzle out later. So that's consistent. He starts the year good and dies off at the end. But the rest of the stuff is weird, man. So We'll see what the heck is
dude, I
going
mean,
on.
we had Connor Orr on. He picked Carolina, Kansas City Super Bowl with Cincinnati making it a couple rounds into the playoffs, and everyone kind of scoffed at that, talking about the Bengals being one of the worst teams in the league. And here we are, worried just a few days away before we play them at home. So really, anything can happen in the NFL. Saints should lose 2 in a row. So we'll take it. But
sure.
hey, let's before we get into our final poll, and we're gonna sign off here. I do want to give a shout out again to the Riot Network here, powered by Ortho Carolina. Thanks for everything you guys do for us, and check out our other family podcasts on the Riot Network. That's One Day Contract, It Is What It Is, and the Roaring Riot podcast coming at you. A podcast drops every day of the week, Bobby. What more can you ask for than that? And,
taking care of the folks.
And we'll see you at a lot of these away games too. And shout out to all the people that I got to hang out with in Atlanta. That was a really fun time. So we'll see you at the next one. And just to throw up our final question here of the night: is candy corn trash? Fine. Apparently, Bobby has a fan club. It was a landslide victory for no tonight. Apparently, you guys
as it should be.
Like candy corn, and we're gonna have to discuss this either in person or on future podcasts. Actually, one final thing I forgot to even touch on: Bojangles. I had Bojangles, Bobby.
Finally.
However, for you guys that were in Atlanta, you know the day didn't. Day started off with a little bit of little rough. We'll just leave it at that. If you want any more information, just ask Zach. So the Bojangles I had was pretty cold by the time I actually got to it, and that's no one's fault. It's just is what it is. But people thought I was gonna come on here and bash it. I actually like Bojangles. I don't know if I got the right order. It was kind of rushed.
What'd you get?
I think like a spicy chicken fillet biscuit or something.
Good job. Good job.
Some bow rounds. Yeah, no, it's
bow rounds. Okay.
It's everything I kind of everything I expected it to be. I didn't not like it. So there you go. I had Bojangles.
Good.
And those are my thoughts on it. And I just kind of just stretched them out so you guys would listen to us tonight. How's that? That's really everything that anyone wanted to hear was how was Bojangles. So I'm looking forward to having it at the next few tailgates, and we'll get something nice. And shout out to those guys who, by the way, cooked a order for a whole Roaring Riot tailgate. They were up at like 5-6 a.m. and they were up and at 'em, and they were ready right when we walked in the door. So shout out to Bojangles of Atlanta for working hard for us. So Bobby, we'll see what happens on Sunday. We'll see if maybe we can hit some post games. And like you said, in a few weeks we will we'll be together down in DC, and we're going to break this down with you guys at the Roaring Riot and anyone else for the game, and we're going to have a good time and leave that city with a W. But for now, we get the Bengals and the Giants on the slate first, and that bye week to get a little more healthy. So any final words or final thoughts before we sign off from you tonight?
Oh man, get healthy, everybody. Not just Panthers, but around the NFL, man. Get healthy. I hope everybody gets healthy. I'm tired of seeing guys having to be out and have lifelong injuries because of stuff. So just get healthy to the NFL. And as always, to our listeners, thank you. We appreciate you 10 times over.
We do, man. And we'll see you guys very soon. And hey, keep pounding, guys.
Keep pounding.
To you later.